Hello everyone. Just recently, the Finals official YouTube channel put out a video recommending a light build that they think is good for amateur players. Today I'm going to be ranking that build to see if it is something beginner players should use or something they should avoid. You haven't seen the whole video yet, but if you do watch the whole thing, be sure to put out a like and subscribe for future content. And right off the bat, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, the very first thing this video recommends for you to buy is the cloaking device, which is a specialization for the light class. Now, I'm just going to come out and say it, but in pro levels, cloaking device isn't really that good because, first of all, you can hear the very loud noise it makes when you attempt to take a flank, and second of all, it's actually very easy to see. And unless there's a lot of crazy crap happening in your environment, you are going to be noticed a lot by the enemy teams. But let's see what the video has to say about cloaking device.
The light class is all about hit and run tactics. That's why the cloaking device is an excellent choice for sneaky plays.
So I think the reason they chose to put cloaking device on this build was so that newer players could prioritize stealth over speed. However, the problem with this mindset is the light isn't bad at stealth by any means, but when you're caught, you are condemned to a 22-second respawn time, and there is nothing you can do for the duration of that time. So unless you can remain undetected for a long period of time, I would say prioritizing speed so you can have the ability to get out of lost situations quickly is more important than stealth. Next up, the main weapon for this build is the XP54, which is actually a really solid choice. The XP as a main weapon is actually really solid. It has little recoil, lots of damage, a pretty good fire rate, and actually a relatively low reload time, keeping you in the fight for longer duration, which is something light is very good at. And yeah, I would definitely say the XP54 is one of the best starter weapons for the light class as a whole, because even the video covers its positives as well.
And for your primary weapon, the XP54 submachine gun is your best friend.
And then next up on the checklist for this build is the Gateway, which I'm actually a pretty big fan of, to be honest. Gateway is actually very fitting for the light class because the traversal it provides is integral for the positions that light wants to play. It also has some use for the team because you can move your teammates to objectives and positions a lot faster, so you can take up on defense and or offense if you really wanted to. And I covered pretty much everything about the gadgets, so let's see what the video has to say.
For your gadgets, equip Gateway to get in and out of trouble in an instant.
Now, the only flaw I see with this logic is that Gateway isn't really meant for getting out, because the enemies can follow you through the portal and it does take a decent amount of time to set them up. But other than that, this is actually very accurate to what the gadget is supposed to do. Penultimate on the list, we have the Pyro Grenade up next. Now, this may sound surprising, but Pyro Grenade is actually designed to be supportive, because fire can burn down goo walls, it can clear gas, it can actually mask you from opponents sometimes, and it can provide enough damage so that you aren't leaving people at 1 health most of the time with your main weapon. However, the fatal flaw with this choice on the light loadout is that if the grenade is supposed to be supportive, then why would you not run it on medium instead? Because the light build is the aggressive build, so unless you are really relying on pyro for entry, I would much rather run something else than pyro grenade on a light build. But hey, let's see if the actual video proves me wrong.
Supplement with a pyro grenade for area control and objective defense.
Okay, not only is this hilariously inaccurate, but if fire is meant for area control and objective defense, then why put gas in the game? Because gas is the better option for both of these roles. Anyways, let's take a look at the last gadget, which is Breach Charge. Now, Breach Charge's primary function is to be used as a wall breaker, so you can traverse through pretty much anything. And that's pretty much it. However, this is probably the best wall breaker in the game, by a long shot. So, let's see what the video has to say about it.
Then finally round it all up with Breach Charge to bring the fight to your level.
I mean, that's pretty much it, and I think all I have to say is I agree. Yes, Breach Charge is really good at its job, which is to break down walls, and it may sound simple, but it's actually very useful in most situations. Alright, now it's time for my thoughts on the overall build. In a nutshell, this build is actually pretty good for new players looking to spend minimal VRs for their light build. I believe that while some parts of the build may not be great, it's still a really solid build all around considering how much the equipment synergizes with the roles Lights wants to play. So that's why I'd give this build a 7.5 out of 10. Because while it doesn't have all the tools really necessary for Light mains, it does have some decent synergy with the roles that new players would like to play, such as stealth and evasion rather than fast pace. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you liked my thoughts on this video and would like to see more content, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.